Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Targeting Winners podcast. Today, we are going to be discussing the American Conference, formerly known as the AG. I am Tim, and with me, as always, is Darren and Peter. Darren, how you doing, bud?
I'm good, man. Good to see you're back online with the rest of the world here, and
Yes.
very excited to start the group of six breakdown, and very happy to sit and relax for a little bit.
All right.
Both kids graduated college; they're both back home. It's been man, doesn't be less hectic once they got degrees, but
no, not at all.
Not the case. Not the case. So, Tim, just a little prep because I know yours are, getting up close to that college age. Up. So, yeah, if you need any help.
I got a few years left, so.
Yeah.
Well,
good times.
Peter, how's it up there in the Great White North?
It's an ACK kind of week, so it's very fitting. It's we're dragging myself through it, but we're doing okay. It's nice and beautiful outside and sunny. It's just one of those weeks, so we're good.
Well, before we jump in, we got some good news here. We have our first cashed winning ticket of Targeting Winners year. Darren, the floor is yours, sir. The Preakness Napoleon Solo.
Yeah, just a shout out to Napoleon Solo.
Who was the jockey? Was that Flavian Pratt? Who was on?
I have no idea who it was. Honestly, you know what? That race was on the day of my daughter's graduation, and by the time we left the ceremony, it was about 8 minutes to post. So my wife and I were listening to it. We weren't listening to the actual feed of the race. There were these just two guys just commenting as far as like what was going on. And just, yeah, we were driving down I-81 and the one guy was like, Napoleon Solo's going to take this. And I was like,
cha-ching.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, don't look for that streak to continue in the Belmont, but yeah, next week before we do
next
our next
week,
preview,
we'll have a pick for you next week.
We'll have some more, but avoid me. We're not good at winning streaks on this show. We usually each get a winner in turn. So I'm just going to say right now, I'll have a pick, but I would lean with whatever you or Pete will be giving out.
All right. All right. Well, we're going to jump right into the American Conference. First up, we got Army. They are at plus 600 to win the conference. The over-under on the win total is 7.5 wins. Peter, let's start with you. Where are you with the Army?
Yeah, I mean, interesting team. They've been pretty solid of late, and I think they've built an identity there, which is not surprising for a service academy, right? Tough team, solid in the trenches, good D. So I think we're going to see a continuation of that. They don't make a ton of mistakes, so they're not going to beat themselves. Win total's what, 7.5? That's an interesting number. I think they'll probably be kicking around that. So I didn't really have a play here. But they do have a legitimate chance at this conference. Do I think they're going to win the conference? I don't, but I do think they'll be in play. We'll see what some of the others do here, but I do think they're going to be a solid team. I think they'll be in play. I just, that number's too tight for me, so I just didn't do anything here. But I do think they'll be a pretty solid team. Those are my thoughts.
Over to you, Darren.
Yeah, agree completely. And I don't know if you guys were, as you guys were previewing these teams, it just kind of see like a repeating thing. Not a lot of returning starters on either side of the ball. Production gone. I mean, if you're in a group of 6 team, if you're even remotely productive, you're probably getting an offer from a Power 4 school and taking it. One of the things I noticed, a lot of uncertain QB situations here. Army does not have that. So I give them a little bit of an advantage here with Caleb Helms coming back. The schedule looks pretty favorable. Anybody worth a damn, they get at home. They do have a road game against Memphis. That Army-Navy game, just remember, does not count in the standings because that takes place after the regular season is over. So if you're looking for win totals, yes, consider that game conference title. You do not need to. The defense is a huge question mark. Again, like I said before, anybody worth a damn on that defense is gone. And it's not like a service academy can raid the portal for replacements. So I didn't have a bet on this team either, but the fact that they do have a fair amount of their offense coming back, a returning starting quarterback, which is helpful, especially in this conference, I would lean the over, although it is a little bit heavily juiced if you want to play that 7.5. I would lean over, but no bet for me because the juice is a little too high.
Right. Yeah, I was actually thinking the same thing with the over there as well. Oof. Let's go down to Charlotte. Going to be ugly. You can get plus 25,000 if you are feeling frisky here. Any alumni from the University of Charlotte? The over/under is 2.5 wins. Yeah, gold standard, my ass. Darren, let's start with you.
I mean, we all love this team because of Biff Poggi, so
Yes.
let's not act like we want Charlotte to fail here. I probably went with my heart a little bit and said, yeah, I really think they're going to get the 2.5 over. And then I kind of looked at the team and the schedule, and I don't think they're getting over that 2.5. I do have a lean to the under here. One of the many QB battles we'll be talking about today. I kind of give the edge to Connor Harrell, but he's not guaranteed to start. I mean, this is a team that only averaged 14 points a game last year. You're not going to beat anybody scoring that. The defense was awful. The secondary is completely brand new. The one good thing they do have going for him is Tim Alvin, their head coach. In other stops, he's had pretty solid second years. So if you want to hang your hat on anything, start there. They don't really have any, I don't want to say tough road games when you're not looking this good. I guess every road game would be tough. But some of the favorites to win this conference, they don't really go to those particular buildings. Again, but the hosting of Memphis, Tulane, ECU, Navy, I mean, I don't know where this team is getting 3 wins here. So, Pete, if you see it, by all means, let me know because I do not.
Oof. Look at that second game at Ole Miss.
Yeah, that should be close. Yeah.
Over to you, Pete.
Yeah, this team has no depth and no chance. Yeah, I mean, they might beat the Citadel. I think they'll win that game. After that, maybe. After that, I don't know. I don't know where wins come here. This team is just not good. They don't have depth. They're just bad. I mean, I don't want to spend more than 2 seconds talking about a bad team. They're terrible. So I don't know what to do with them. Just move on. I'm done.
All right. Well, at least if Biff Poggi was there, they'd also have good stock portfolios.
Exactly.
That'd
be fine.
And there'd be entertaining post third quarter sideline interviews. So you could always have that.
At least we'd have that, right? We don't get that.
We're moving on. This was my play for last year's conference winner, but not this year. We have East Carolina plus 800 to win the conference. Over/under on the wins is 7.5. Peter, let's start with you.
Yeah, I mean, not a bad team. Plus 800 puts them in play for sure. I think their schedule, not up yet, but I think their schedule does give them a realistic path to be in play here, which is good. I mean, obviously there's some tough games on the schedule, but outside of that, I mean, I think there's some very winnable games in the schedule, right? So I don't think they need to beat the favorites to cash on the over either. I think that over could be in play, perhaps. However, I think it's a little questionable, so I didn't really touch it. I don't dislike this team. I don't like this team. I'm kind of on a fence with them. I like where they're heading. I think that there is some potential upside with this team. However, I just don't know where it's going right now, and I just don't feel very comfortable with them either as a title contender or the over maybe, but I don't really feel too comfortable with that either. So not a bad team. Evolving, but yeah, I just don't see a play here. So those are my thoughts.
Any thoughts over to Darren?
Yeah, I mean, you got plus 8 to 1 there at Hard Rock. DraftKings is showing 7 to 1, and I don't understand that when your win total is juiced under the 7.5. Something's not really clicking there. A 9-win team last year, but there's not really a whole lot coming back here on either side of the ball. So I don't know. I see here they rank 122nd in offensive returning production. Yet again, another quarterback battle by a couple of career backups here. The one thing that does make me a little intrigued about their offense is the offense coordinator from North Texas last year is taking over. So I don't know if you watch North Texas a lot, but they led the world in points per game. So maybe there's something brewing offensively there. And again, they were one of the top defenses in the American last year, but only 2 stars coming back, a new defensive coordinator, so that unit could struggle early out of the gate. I am interested in that first game at Alabama because I'm not super high on Alabama this year, but I don't think East Carolina's gonna put up much of a fight there. But I'm more interested to see what Bama looks like in that game. I just see a slow start here. The road games, Memphis and Army. They're hosting South Florida. I don't really know if I'm super high on South Florida either, since they're all playing at Auburn now. But no bet here. But if anything, that juice isn't too high for me to lean to the under. So if I was going anywhere, that's where I would go.
All right, as well. Uh-oh. There we go. For a second, I thought my power went out. I was like, "What, this monsoon outside, boys?" I'm like, first the dog knocks out the internet yesterday, and then I was like, "Oh, what's going on?" But here we go. We got Florida Atlantic plus 4,000 with the over/under at 5.5 wins. Interesting team, I think. Darren, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I agree. This team, I started to break down this team, and I was like, oh, this could be the most fun team in this conference. And actually, I had 2 or 3 bets lined up, but I thought, can you really give out 3 bets in the American Conference? The answer to that was no. So I took this one off. But I do have a lean to the over here. I get that their defense was really bad. And this offense, at least from a passing yardage standpoint, was really good. But Caden Veldkamp's got a couple years of starting experience. It's not like he's some schmuck, off the street. The problem is he threw 17 interceptions, was easily led the country. So that needs to stop. Again, this is the second year in the offense with their new head coach. But I like what they've got here. I mean, the guy who led the league in receptions, Easton Messer, is back. Caden Shields Dutton looks like he's ready to step in as RB1. But they did a lot of terrible things on defense or offense, when they weren't completing passes. I mean, a minus 21 turnover ratio, completing 37% of their third downs, 29 giveaways. I mean, those things usually kind of correct themselves from year to year. Not so much the interceptions, but like the fumble luck and things like that. Mm-hmm. If they can get any of those things straightened out, maybe improve to 40, 45% on third downs, don't throw 17 picks. I think that's going to help the defense actually look better statistically. So second year in the offense, if they can work out anything, they have the schedule to get to a bowl game. I do lean over 5.5 here. It's not juiced super high. They got some big boys on the schedule like Navy, Texas, San Antonio, South Florida. Come to them. They go to Army, the aforementioned East Carolina, and Florida non-conference. That could be potentially ugly, but it's first game. Who knows what the hell Florida's going to look like? But I think this offense is going to take a step in the right direction. That will help their defense perform better because they're not. You guys go 3 and out 5-6 times a game. I mean, your defense is screwed. You just can't keep it up for 60 minutes a game, 12 weeks straight. So I'm looking for the offense to improve here. I do like this team. This was the last bet I crossed off. It did not make. But yeah, I lean over the 5.5 here.
Peter, any thoughts?
Yeah, you basically read my script. I mean, that's excellent. I mean, this offense is interesting for sure, and there's plenty of room for it to step up. The defense isn't great, but as you said, right, part of the issue is the 3 and outs and the turnovers, right? Your defense that's not that good in the first place with that kind of pressure on it, it's going to be a problem, right? So, I mean, if you can clean some of that up and you've got a quarterback that can play, that's got experience, and this offense is interesting. And I think, the upside is absolutely there. The potential, could speak to this team being better than this record would indicate, what these numbers would indicate. So, yeah, I mean, I think the over here is quite interesting. I also kicked it around a little bit and, toyed with it. I'm trying to hold back a little bit because I don't want too many futures bets, and I'm starting to get a little heavy on them. We haven't even got to the big boys yet. So I'm like, maybe I should just relax a little bit. So that's why I did not play anything here. But honestly, just like Darren said, I would not, I think anybody who had a thought of playing the over here on this team, it's not a bad play. It makes a lot of sense. And if you're going to lean on that offense and just cleaning it up a little bit and being a little more consistent, I think that over is very much in play. So it makes a lot of sense. So I like the offense. The defense should get better with the offensive improvement. So interesting team. Should be fun to watch if nothing else. So yeah, those are my thoughts.
Gonna definitely be a fun team to watch. You can definitely bet on that and cash
Yeah,
that ticket for
I
sure.
think Shields Dutton is a guy to look out for. Like he wasn't the number one guy. He only had like 5 or 6 yards less than their leading rusher last year, but it was on like 20 less carries. And their leading rusher, he didn't even have any rushing touchdowns. I mean, Shields Dutton was the goal line guy. He had 6 rushing TDs, caught a handful of passes out of the backfield. So I mean, there's potential there for this team to actually control the clock a little bit more. I mean, when you're 3rd and 2 and you know you're going to be passing all the time, I mean, you got to have somebody that can get you that yard or two. And I think now that this guy's going to be the featured running back, this offense will be better.
Right. Whoop. Is that the right one? There it is. Memphis. All right. This is a very interesting school. Plus 650 to win the conference. Over under on the wins is 7.5. I do have a play on this one. Darren, why don't you start? Get your thoughts and totally rip my bet apart. And then
No, I'm not going to, because I totally see where you're coming from. It seems every time we do one of these previews, there is 1 or 2 teams that I go back and forth on multiple times, and eventually just like throw my laptop across the couch and be like, screw it, I'll look at it in a day or two. Yeah, Memphis was that team for me here. I don't know what to expect for this team. Again, quarterback play. Who the hell knows who's going to be the quarterback? But I mean, I can't doubt Charles Huff. I mean, the guy wins everywhere he friggin' goes. I mean, he wins at Marshall. They unceremoniously boot his ass. He goes to Southern Miss, and they win like 7 times the amount of games they won the year before he got there. So he took all his Marshall players, who were then Southern Miss players, who are now all Memphis players. So, I mean, there's just so much turnover on this team. Head coach, defense coordinator, offense coordinator, no returning starters on the defense. You would think train wreck in the making. But again, I cannot dismiss any team that Charles Huff is coaching. The dude's going to be in the Power 4. God, know the way he's going. It's his 3rd job in 3 years. He'll probably coach in a Power 4 team somewhere next year. And he should. So I just had in my notes here, is this a rebuild? Yes. Do we trust Charles Huff? Also, yes. So, but that schedule, which you just have up there, that is a tough schedule. Look at those road games. I mean, non-conference, you like to get a few wins going on. You got UNLV and Boise right out of the gate, 2 of your first 3 weeks. That's not good. You go to Tulane, you go to Navy, you go to South Florida. I mean, that's tough for a roster that's completely brand new. But again, I can't recommend the under here because of that dude right in the middle holding the football. Because, like, yeah, he succeeds wherever he goes. So after going back and forth, I stayed away. I think the schedule's just that's tough, especially early on.
Well, they brought in a lot of experience with the transfers too, and they do have. I think the quarterback's going to be it's that kid from Ohio State, and then they got a running back
Noland
too. I mean, this could be his horse racing term. A step down in class. They're going from allowance to maiden claiming. So
that's fair.
And the guy in the middle, he could be in Tallahassee next year. Let's see what happens.
Oh, you can only hope.
Yeah, right. You can get a better job than that.
Before I get off on another rant, but yes, I did.
Our high school coach retired across the street. I mean, if he wants to come up here,
there you go.
I mean, it's a nice, quiet area. A lot of horse racing coming up. Maybe he wants to come by.
I just look at this as more like a rebuild, but kind of like a reload on the run, kind of like speed dating with players. They're going to get them all in here. There's a lot of experience. I like the receivers they've got. Like I said, the coach, he's good for a few wins. I'm going to put up my bet here. I actually bet them to win the conference for a half a unit at plus 650. And if I think they're going to win the conference, they're going to win more than 7 games. So I might as well did 2-unit play on the over of 7.5 wins. I think they beat UNLV. I think they beat Boise State. So I think a couple of those wins, they're probably going to lose a couple of the other ones later. But Memphis is one of those teams I always liked. Even though, even going back years, like I kind of like this Memphis team. So
to their credit, that UNLV game is the best week 0 game on the.
It is.
It's only 8 games. Memphis UNLV looks like by far that's the best one.
Right. So, but that's my bet.
Do you agree with Tim or do you agree with me?
Well, I mean, I think it's a great game, but I those first 2 games are tough. I mean, I have 11 bullets in this team. Darren, you hit all 11 of them. I just think the transition is tough. I love the coach. I love the name. I mean, they have depth. They have talent. That's a lot of transition, and this schedule is tough. I mean, I probably would have gone under if somebody put a gun on my head and made me do something, just because that's a tough schedule. But if anybody can do it, the man right there can. So I don't know. I mean, it's going to be interesting. They're going to be a good team, no doubt about it. And you're right. He'll probably be coaching somewhere else next year after they win this conference and look amazing or something. Who knows? And we'll see how it plays out. I mean, it's not a bad bet. You're betting on the right person, right? You're betting on a coach who's shown how to do it. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, we'll see what happens with that. So a half unit on the championship and 2 units on the over of 7.5. Those are my 2 official plays. We started with the Army. Let's do the Navy plus 350 to win the conference. The over under on the wins is also 7.5. I think we started with Darren last time. Peter, have at it. The Navy.
Yeah, I got the Navy drew me in here. So when I first looked at this team, kind of understood, I guess, on the surface why they were the favorite in the conference. Like, it made some sense, right? Coach is back, offensive coordinator's back, the culture's intact, the system is intact, all that kind of stuff. But when you dive deeper into the roster, I think the market is pricing this team as if it's last year's team, right? That's my concern with this team. And the issue with that is you've got 2 big problems with that, right? Eli is gone, right? That's a huge deal. And then Landon Robinson on the other side of the ball, right? These are 2, they're number 1 players on both sides of the ball, right? Losing those 2 players to this team is a huge deal. And I don't think the market's priced those 2 players being gone into this. They're leaning into the coaching, which is great, the system, which is great. There's a lot of very positive things. I'm not suggesting Navy's going to be terrible or anything of that nature. I'm not. I just am suggesting that the 2 players that they're losing here are a significant issue for this team. And for me, that's a big concern, especially when you look. Of course, I play unders. So if you look at the schedule, and I go down this, and I'm looking for where do the wins come from, right? So it's 8.5, but I didn't like the juice on that, so I was nosing a 7.5, which I did like the juice. So the question is, where's the 8th win coming from, essentially? So kind of look at 7, and I'm looking through that. I was like, the schedule kind of plays in. They're certainly going to lose to Notre Dame. I mean, Army Navy is always a toss up. Who knows what's going to happen there? There's I had the whole list here somewhere. I went through every game in order here to look at this, which I misplaced at the moment, but here it is. Hold on. What did I say? So I said, Towson win, Florida Atlantic win, UAB win, Air Force is a toss up as well. UTSA is probably a loss. Notre Dame's definitely a loss. North Texas could be a loss as well. So when you start tallying some of these up, I could very easily see him coming under that 7.5, especially with the loss of those 2 guys, right? And so that's where my mind started to go after I looked a little deeper beyond just the kind of top level, good team, good coaching, good coach culture, all of that. So that's where I'm going with this team here. I went not for the 8.5. I went for a better number, better juice, under 7.5, 1 unit. So that's the play I made here.
Over to Darren.
Yeah, P, where I unintentionally stole all your bullets from Memphis. You took almost all of mine here for Navy, and I'll even add to your case here. You had mentioned Heidenreich. Also, Alex Tess is gone, and more importantly, Blake Horvath is gone. I mean, how many times do we see that dude getting his ass kicked running up and down the field? And I had some stats here. Those 3 guys, Horvath, Texa, and Heidenreich, combined for 459 carries, 2,601 rushing yards, and factor in another 941 yards receiving for Heidenreich. And you had already touched on losing their best defensive player. This is the opposite of Army, where Army's bringing back a lot of offense, losing everything on defense. Navy's losing everything on offense and bringing back something on defense, but not really a lot. And I always appreciate when we either drop or add a number off the given win total to get some better numbers. I love those type of bets. I actually have one coming up shortly as well. But yeah, I mean, if this team is going to sniff that 8 or 9 win mark, it's going to be by the defense, because I have no clue who is replacing all these skill players on offense. That's a lot to ask. So I guess we'll see if this scenario is a plug and play kind of thing. I mean, they've gotten away a little bit from. I mean, they don't run like 98% of the time now. They do tend to. I mean, when was the last time you saw anybody on Navy with 941 yards receiving in a season, much less like in a 4-year career? So they are doing some different things here, but that is a ton of production to replace. So I totally get where you're going with this bet, but yeah, I'm avoiding this one. They just lost too much on offense.
All right. So once again, Pete's pick under 7.5 wins at plus 125.
Yes, sir.
Moving on. North Texas plus 2,500 to win the conference. The over-under is 5.5 wins. The mean green is all in. We'll start with Darren this time. Let's see if you can steal some of Pete's bullet points here.
No, I'm going to actually agree. Everything that Pete said about people looking at this conference thinking, oh, Navy, good team. Let's bet them. All right. North Texas went 11-1 in the regular season last year, 12-2 overall. I think everybody's going to do the same with North Texas. But again, when you look at this roster, what do they even have coming back? I'm going to challenge you guys to prove me wrong here. I mean, nothing. Literally nothing. Everybody worth a damn on offense is now part of Oklahoma State. The guy who's supposed to be the quarterback, Chris Jimerson, played in 4 games last year. He threw 2 passes. Okay, this is a pass-happy ass team, and now you're going to tell me that this guy is going to be your new quarterback? Stop. The defense, terrible at stopping the run. And you can look at their pass defense stats. Well, they were really good against the pass. Yeah, because nobody passed on them because they were running for 220 yards a game against his defense. I wouldn't pass on him either. There's just nothing. I don't like the hiring of Neil Brown as their head coach after getting dismissed from West Virginia, where he was only, 2 or 3 games over 500 in his 6 years there. Don't like that. Returning production, they're the bottom 10 in the country. I was looking at Athlon the other day. They said, well, they were 5th in kick returns and 14th in punt returns. Both those guys are gone too. So I just don't know where. And again, 6.5 is actually posted. I see, Tim, you have 5.5 there because much like Pete did with Navy, I wasn't laying the 200 juice at 6.5. DraftKings, when I made this bet, had a nice little plus 135 on the under 5.5. That's where I went. It's currently plus 120, so I would still jump on that if you wanted. But I mean, you're hosting UNLV. UNLV is probably going to beat them. And then just look at the road games. Indiana. Okay, well, we know what's going to happen there. You've got Navy. You've got Texas San Antonio, who, by the way, scores 40 points a pop in their building. Oh, and they're playing that game in their building. Tulane. I mean, and look at it. That third game, Texas State. And everybody's like, well, who the hell is Texas State? Well, they're the third betting choice at 5-1 to win the Pac-12, which we'll get into next week. So this team is going to start 0-3. You got Houston Christian in there. Okay, you're going to get that one. But a lot of these toss-up games, I think they're going to lose. This isn't even remotely sniffing the team that North Texas was last year. Yeah, and I mean, Neil Brown runs the ball. I mean, this is not going to be a 40-point-a-game team. I don't know. Guys, just tell me I'm wrong, but I do not like anything that this team is bringing back this year. I think even a 5.5 may be generous.
Wow. Peter, any thoughts?
Stealing my bullets, man. I agree 100%. I don't know where they go with this. I mean, I agree 100%. I mean, the under is very, very tasty here. The massive roster turnover. I mean, to me, it's just an issue. I mean, I don't see where they go. I love that bet. I love the under all day long here. So I think it's great. You said everything. I don't need to say anymore. I'm good.
Right. Once you say you said it all. So we got Darren's pick of under 5.5 wins for North Texas at plus 135. Was that at where'd you get that? FanDuel, DraftKings? Where'd you get that?
I got that at DraftKings, which I checked this morning. DraftKings still had plus 120. But they were the only ones that were offering an alternate line. Everybody else still has 6.5, but it's like even like minus 180 is the lowest juice I could find on that. So if your book offers alternate line at 5.5, you're going to get plus money. So hell yeah, and it's odd that like I had all this trouble with Oklahoma State in 2023, and I bet on Oklahoma State win total 2025. Now I'm betting on a team that everybody left to go to Oklahoma State to be under. So I don't know. I just can't shake the Cowboys. What can I tell you?
Well, next up, we got Rice. They are relentless and tough at plus 15,000 to win the conference. Over under on the win total is 3.5 wins. Darren, let's stay here with you. We got Rice.
Again, rinse, repeat. Stop me if you've heard this before. Another QB battle. Not much returning on either side of the ball. 120th in the nation in returning production. Second year with the head coach and that weird option offense or whatever the hell he called it that he installed. So maybe some improvement there. But I mean, on average, 14 less points they scored than what they gave up. They gained about 100 yards less per game than what they gave up. How the hell did this team win 5 games last year with stats like that? I have no idea. Texas, San Antonio, Tulane, and Army go there. Non-conference at Notre Dame. ECU comes to that. I think the 3.5 is a stretch, man. It's fairly juiced either way you go, but I have no problem if anybody wanted to go the under here. That's my lead.
Peter.
Yeah, same. I mean, I think last year winning 5 games was lucky, a gift. That has kind of worked out their way. I think the schedule this year is a problem for them. I think they're going to have a real issue winning any more than 3, maybe 4, but probably more than 3. So I think it's going to be a challenge. I think the team might be evolving in the right direction, but it's not there yet. It's going to take some time. So that's it.
I can see this conference just coming down to like some weird tiebreakers for who's in the championship game. Like, I just think that some teams are just either really, really bad or really, really good. Big 12-esque, if you will. So let's move on to South Florida, plus 800. Win total is 8.5. Peter, Bowles strong. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the portal class was pretty solid, so I think that will lead in pretty well. So I think their talent level is probably a little better than most people think. So I think it's positive. Schedule to me, I think it's there's a couple toss-ups in here which make it a little interesting with that 6.5. I think there's some upside. If we can get some kind of stabilization in the quarterback play here, so it's a little interesting for me. I think I'm leaning a little over on that 6.5, but I'm really not sold on it. I'm just kind of leaning. So I think the market might be undervaluing their talent a little bit. We're going to see how it plays out. But if anywhere, I'm leaning a little bit on the over. So those are my thoughts.
Taryn.
I just want to check. Did you got 6.5 at Hard Rock for that win total? Did I write down something wrong? See, I'm showing 8.5 at DraftKings.
Yeah, I thought
I have 8.5. Yeah.
Oh, okay, because people were saying 6.5. I thought, maybe did I make a mistake? But all right, so yeah, I think 8.5 is too high for this team.
Yeah, for sure.
And Tim, I know you're gonna hate this, but any team with Luke Kromanoik, your boy, as
my
potentially
boy,
the
there
starting
he is.
quarterback. Yeah, he's fighting with another LSU transfer, Michael Van Buren, for the starting job. So we'll see how that goes, but that doesn't inspire confidence either way. I do like the head coaching hire of Brian Hartline. He will get talent to go there. He will get receiving talent because nobody can pick out wide receiving talent like that guy can. But again, this schedule is awful. This defense ranks outside the top 120 in returning production. Just looking at that schedule there, Tim, that you put up, Memphis and Tulane go there. Army, Texas, San Antonio, and East Carolina are all road games. Those 5 games could easily be losses. So I think the 8.5, it's heavy juice to the under, I think, for a reason. And again, we talked about people look at this conference and they think of a handful of teams. I think they think, South Florida was a top 5 offense last year. Well, all those guys are playing for Auburn right now. So I don't like what this team's got. This would be a team I'd look at in 2027 and possibly put a bet down on for a conference title because I think Brian Hartline will get some quality there, but 8.5 is way too high. This was a third bet that I eventually crossed off, and I just rolled with North Texas here, but under 8.5, I would play that.
Yeah, that's scary. I was thinking that myself. So, oh boy, if we all 3 are kind of leaning that way, I don't know. We got Temple plus 4,000. Over under is 5.5. They got the attitude. They got the toughness. Are they fired up, Darren?
Hold on, we've got breaking news.
Uh-oh.
Pete, you have to leave us.
I do. I got to jump off.
Okay.
All right.
All right,
My
we got
bet's
your
in.
bet in before you.
My bet is in, so I'm good.
All right.
All right,
All
man.
right, man.
See you next week.
See you.
Okay. Well,
All right. There you
Darren,
go.
let's talk
Well, the show
Temple.
should speed up with just the two of us.
no kidding.
See, nah, I want to root for Temple. I mean, they've been bad for so long. This was a team that started off 5-3 and looked like, wow, after all this, they're going to a bowl game and then proceeded to lose their last 4. Love Casey Keeler here. They supposedly have a QB battle, but I was so bored that I eventually looked at the Temple spring game box score, and Penn State transfer Jackson Smolik dominated. So it would be a miracle if he was not the starting quarterback week 1. They got a nice running back transfer from Rutgers and Sam Brown, who can also catch some passes. Again, the defense doesn't bring back a whole lot on that side of the ball. They weren't sacking anybody, even with what they had last year, only 16 sacks last year. The schedule, though, I wanted to go over here, but just road games: Toledo, South Florida, East Carolina, Memphis, Navy, Penn State coming to them. I mean, that could easily be 6 losses right there. It makes sense to me that this 5.5 is juiced to the under, but my heart will not let me bet that. I mean, the juice to the under is not terrible, so I could certainly see betting it, but I'm avoiding any win total bets with this team.
Yeah, I like to avoid bets for Temple in general. I mean,
And recent history, that's fair.
Yeah, it's like, but yeah, if you're gonna go, I would say under, no matter what it is, would be a good way to go for that. So, all right, now we're getting into some of the better schools. So we got Tulane, John Summerall out over to the Gators. Wish he went to Florida State instead, but what are you gonna do? They are at plus 600 to win the conference. 7.5 is the win total. I was leaning, even with him gone, I was leaning to the over on this one. Yeah, I think they can recover nicely. They do have a nice recruiting base there. They're right there in Louisiana. So, Darren, any thoughts with Tulane?
I agree with your overlean. I actually had that in my notes as well. And again, this is one of the handful of teams where defensively they look a lot better than the majority of the rest of the conference. I mean, even on the other side of the ball, the RB group is pretty deep, despite there not being a ton of production there. But again, a QB battle. And I think for this team with the defense as good as it looks, it's all going to come down to who's running this offense. Is it Zion Chris or is it Caden Simonza, who, if you're a Mac fan, which we all know you are, you probably, I believe he was the Ball State QB for some time. The defense here, that over is nicely juiced at plus 120. So I also had that on my list. Although I did not go back. And the road schedule is not terrible. I mean, they've got Duke and K-State in the non-conference. I believe we all are not super high on Duke to start off with. So if they go in there and beat the Blue Devils, I would not be surprised.
I think they will.
Week, I think they would too. That third week against K-State, that's going to be a solid measuring stick there. I would love to watch that game. But yeah, I mean, Memphis and Texas San Antonio come to them. We know Texas San Antonio is a completely different team on the road. I do have a lean to the over here as well.
Yeah, that Kansas State game, that'll be in the multi-view that day for sure. That won't be good. Oh, well, I said we were getting into some of the better teams. Well, we have to skip one here. We got Tulsa. This one, even at 5.5, I was leaving under with this one at the win total of 5.5. They are at plus 6,000 to win the conference. I would put them in the same with Charlotte, even though Charlotte's a lot worse. But I don't see these guys being that much better.
All right,
your thoughts?
First of all, we will not have any Tulsa slander on the show because if you remember last year, I bet Oklahoma State under 4.5. That's some nice plus money. And we all remember when Tulsa went into Oklahoma State and won. And Mike Gundy was fired right after that. So, soft spot in the old heart for Tulsa there. So, let us not slander Tulsa. However, I do agree that under 5.5.
However, you're going to slander Tulsa. So here we go.
No, I'm not going to slander Tulsa because they did help me. I mean, Oklahoma State won 1. I had under 4.5. So, whether they won or not wouldn't affect cashing that ticket. But I don't know if you remember their quarterback, Baylor Hayes, who looks like he's 11 years old. Well, he's 12 now, and he's back leading this team. So, again, a returning quarterback Not the worst thing in the world in this conference. But again, like everybody else, only one other starter coming back, and that's an offensive lineman. But they do have production coming back, but a lot of their skill possessions, top 3 running backs, top 3 wide receivers, and their leading tight end, all gone. They did get the Old Dominion running back, Traquan Jones, so that at least helps somewhat. They do bring a lot of returning stars back defensively, but that even like they improved a lot defensively from 2024 to 2025, but like 2024, they gave up 43 points a game. Last year, they gave up 30. Yeah, that's still not good, but for them, it's a huge step in the right direction. Yards allowed 2 years ago, 488. Last year, 382. So again, massive improvements. But again, those stats normally not good enough to get a whole lot done in any conference. And again, you look at just that road schedule. Well, I'm not super high on Arkansas, but Tulsa should not be beating Arkansas. No. Navy, Tulane, Texas, San Antonio. Yeah, you got Oak State coming to them. Okay, they probably have some revenge on their mind. And last I checked, they look like they're going to score some points this year. Yeah, they host Army as well. So that looks like 5-6 losses right off the bat there. They do have a couple cupcakes in there where they can get a little mojo back, but again, a lot of skill position production gone on the offensive side of the ball. So didn't bet it. Again, the heartstrings, they helped me out last year, but I do agree with you that if anybody's going to play this win total, to go under.
Yeah, I'm leaning under. I might break my ankle if I lean any further, but yeah, I was I was so close to this fire on that too. I thought 5.5. I was thinking it might be, along the lines with the other schools at 3.5 or something, but yeah, rough schedule. I mean,
well, they're bringing back, like I said, that they are bringing back a fair amount. I mean, they're top 25 in returning production, which for a group of 6 team is ridiculously rare. So, I mean, shout out to them for at least retaining the players that they were able to retain. But man, that schedule's not doing them any favors.
Mm-hmm. Whew. UAB plus 25,000. Yeah, speaking of 3.5, right there. Again, leaning under. Talk about a rebuild. Talk about the new what Memphis went through. Whew.
With all our underleans, there's going to be like 3 teams winning 10 games this year, and everybody else is not winning anything.
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, the way it's shaping up, it's going to be like a 4-way tie for first, and then a bunch of schools like a 10-way tie for last. It's like Jesus.
But, you know what though? No, I didn't want to crap on Pete's team, but I actually had Navy over as a lean. But I didn't want to kill his momentum. He was building a case, but I do have another. I do have an over coming up on the last team, so I don't have it as shifted as we sound here. Oh my God, the Trent Dilfer experiment. Thank God, finally coming to an end. Halfway through last year when he went 2-4. The problem, the offensive coordinator, Alex Mortensen, who took over, he went 2-4 in his 6 games, and statistically, the offense was worse after he took over. So not super thrilled with that coaching hire. Again, a new QB coming in. Ryder Burton is going to be the guy. He at least had a couple starts last year, so he's not completely new to what's going on there. But again, like a lot of these other teams, all the skill position players gone. This defense, nobody gave up more points per game in the conference than UAB did. Of course, not a lot of returning stars and returning production. We always look at that as a good thing. So maybe they improve somewhat. A lot of their portal haul was on the defensive side of the ball. So we'll see. I mean, they look like there's some depth there, but a lot of the guys they got don't bring a lot of experience with them. I didn't have a leaner bet either. But again, this schedule looks like there's like no doubt 6 losses minimum right off the bat here. The 3.5 equally juiced, which either way you want to go. But I'm avoiding this team. I'm not, if I had any confidence in Mortensen, I'd be like, yeah, this could be a 4-win team. But it seemed like when he became the head coach, he was still calling plays, and they went backwards the last 6 games. So not a lot of confidence there. But I think that total might be too low to go under, so I'm avoiding this altogether.
I don't see any wins on the road, to tell you the truth. I mean, there's 6 losses right there.
What do they got? South Florida. Yeah, I mean, I kind of think Temple's going to beat them. Illinois, Louisiana is probably good. Yeah, okay. I can agree with that. And they're not beating Navy or probably Texas, San Antonio. Yeah, you're
Maybe
gonna talk me into
Stanford.
it.
They can. This it's ugly. It's bad. Bad.
Yeah, I can't. I can't have 6 bets in one conference, man. So don't talk me into an under.
Yo,
Here,
don't
but
you have to tell me that I did that with the Big 12 last year. I think I had like 9. I mean, yay, oof, Maron. But here's a team, UTSA. Got the Roadrunners here, over under 7.5 wins. I was leaning over. I like for the last few years. I've always been on the Roadrunners here. They're at plus 475 for the conference. Any thoughts here, Darren?
yeah, I like the over here. Man, all this agreement is scary. But yeah, I like
Well,
the over
Pete's
here.
gone, so
That's
usually
true.
he's the
So,
third factor.
and again, a returning quarterback and a pretty good one at Owen McCown. If he can stay healthy, he could be the best quarterback in this conference. So I like that. Second leading rusher Will Henderson Jr. is back. 2 of their top 3 wide receivers are back. 4 returning stars on the offensive line. This team could be the best offense in this conference as well. They probably have more coming back on that side of the ball than just about anybody. The only concern, though, new offensive coordinator. That always worries me when an offense is humming and they decide to make a change at who calls the plays. So we'll have to see how that turns out. Defensively, they weren't great.
A lot of turnover, it looks like.
Yeah, they still don't look like they're going to be great on that side of the ball. So maybe this is an over-better's dream here week to week with Texas San Antonio. And again, a lot of the portal ads they got here, according to Athlon, they're coming from the FCS and the junior college ranks. I don't know how that's going to translate to FBS level college football, but I guess we'll see. The schedule's not awful. Obviously, that road game at Texas probably is not going to go well. The road game against Tulane, maybe not either. But we talked, last year, I remember Pete and I having a disagreement. He went against Texas San Antonio at home. I'm like, dude, they score 40 points a game minimum. And that game we were talking about, they scored over 40 again. I mean, at home, this team just lights it up, man. And with a lot of that offense coming back. I mean, there's not a lot of losable home games there. I mean, Navy. Navy's not built to catch up. If Texas San Antonio gets up 14-0, what's Navy going to do? Yeah, I have no idea. In South Florida, like I said, all those guys are at Auburn. So, I mean, not a difficult schedule. The juice, DraftKings got minus 125. If you want to go over that 7.5, that's not terrible. God damn, I'm talking myself into like 9 bets this show. We're not,
Right.
Tim. We're
I
not.
think they can win their home games for sure. They got a road game against UAB. I mean, there's a win.
Yeah, that's what Rice in there too. I mean, come on,
Rice. I mean, they're probably going to slip up one game and totally mess up that bet. But
and again, McCown is not always the healthiest guy on the planet. You know, he could easily get hurt at any point, miss a game or two, and those games would easily be losses because he's really good. So, not that you can really prep for injuries or handicap based on injuries, but I'm just saying, if there's one guy on one team that could really screw a season if he goes down, it very well could be McCown. So,
yeah, you don't want to count on somebody getting hurt. It's kind of morbid,
exactly.
I guess.
It is.
I mean, when we were younger, we'd be like, "Can't this guy just get hit by a bus or something?" It's like, does he have to play next week? Well, I think we made it through without making too many bets. So before we plunge everything into, let's.
This is only the first group of 6 conference. We have 5 more to fire on. So. Oh man, our bets. I did a count before this show. We've only done like 2 conferences, and a Heisman and a national championship. We have 25 bets locked in between the 3 of us already. So
nice.
Full blown degeneracy here on targeting winners.
Man, I had 25 futures bets on myself last year.
You did, and that's what worries me because how did that go?
Know. Well, yeah, so that's why I'm limiting myself to like 1-2 max on these conferences here. So
that's good for you sticking to your resolutions, man. That's
you
good.
know, it's hard, man. It's rough because I mean, you just saw what we just went through. I mean, I could have fired on 4 or 5 different teams on this conference.
I know. I had 4 or 5. I got it down to 3, and you talked me into 2 more after Pete left. So I only had 8 futures bets last year. That North Texas one right there, that's number 9 for me already. So
wow,
I'm taking over for you apparently. I will have 37 futures bets by week 0.
Right. All right, we're gonna wrap up this show here. For my bets, I've got Memphis to win the conference at plus 650 and also over 7.5 wins at minus 25. Pete had Navy under 7.5 wins at plus 125. And Darren,
Yeah, the Mean Green
Here we
are
go.
not looking mean this year. North Texas under 5.5 at some plus money. Plus 120 still available on DK at the moment.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. Next week we got what, the Pac-12?
We're doing the Pac-12, which contains 8 teams, and we're going to throw in UConn and Notre Dame as well. So it'll be another. It'll be a nice 10-team preview next Thursday.
And also tune in for our Belmont pick for next week. See if Darren can make 2 in a row here.
Darren will not make 2 in a row.
Well, we'll see what happens. As always, thank you for listening. If you like it, subscribe. We really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next week.